Okay, good evening to the entire training fraternity. Once again, this is Elroy Gonsalves, and we are back at Conversations That Impact. All right, so a very warm welcome to all our viewers. We are on our seventh episode today, and as advertised, we've had a very important lineup of guests speakers who would actually add a lot of value to the training fraternity. Right. And before, like always, before we go ahead with this episode, let me once again ask you to please like, share, create watch parties, and ensure that you tag a friend of yours who I am sure will surely benefit from these videos. All right. So, on this note, let me introduce our guest speaker for this episode. And we have a very young, vibrant, dynamic guest speaker who has created immense, not only ripples, but waves in the field of social media. And social media being something that we've been speaking about for the last six episodes, we thought that it would only be the right thing to do to make sure that our viewers understand the significance of social media and how they can make a better, more effective use of this medium. So, on this note, may I welcome our guest speaker, who is the founder of the Socialize Store, which is a social media training hub, Ami Saula Hemani. Ami, a very warm welcome to our show, and let's give it our best to ensure that trainers have a wonderful time and immense learning over the next 1 hour. Are we ready?
Yes, thank you so much, Elroy. Thank you, Learners Conclave. Thank you, Asif Ibrahim. Thank you, all of you all, for inviting me for today's show. And I'm very, very excited.
It's our pleasure. So, Ami, to start it off, because one important question that we generally ask is about the journey of a trainer.
Mhm.
And you've had a very incredible journey yourself because social media was not always uh, a part of you, or academically, you are educated in another line. So, tell us, what was your journey that actually brought you into the field of social media?
Okay. Okay, great. So basically, if you ask me, I don't have any certifications of marketing to show you, nor have I
Hmm.
worked in any ad or digital agency. So
Okay.
basically, I'm a graduate. I've done my MBA in human resources, and then of course I was working as an HR consultant for nearly 1.5 years. And after that, I quit my job and I got an idea, and I started with my first startup, which was
Hmm.
actually into online barter. So I
Okay.
and my team, we had created a platform where people could exchange books and services the barter way. So for example, if you're a web
Hmm.
designer and I'm a fashion designer, so you design website for me, in exchange I design clothes for you. So that's the kind of model which we'd created way back that time. And that time I was too young also. You know how the young blood is. You have an idea, you just want to go for it. And I,
Hmm.
you know, I got the office on rent and so many things were in place, but of course the startup didn't really work the way I wanted to. But
Uh-huh.
it taught me a lot of things. So everything I know today is because of that startup, because I did a lot of ground level research for that startup on social media. I understood some tried and tested tricks and methods that really work on social media. And during that tenure, I came across a lot of entrepreneurs, and I used to talk to them, like a lot of women entrepreneurs, and they would tell me that, Ami, the business is going fabulous, but we really suffer with technology. Uh, we have amazing businesses, but we don't know how to market it. We have to always be dependent on our husbands or our children, and we really feel that we are totally dependent on them. We know nothing. Like, I've had clients who come for my sessions, and this lady, she's actually calling her husband from the session and asking him, what is the password of my Facebook? I don't even remember it. So those are
Hmm.
the kind of things I faced, and I realized that, oh my god. So there are these big institutes where young
Hmm.
students can go and enroll themselves for a 3-month 1-year course. But what about these women? What about these guys who have an established business or who are just starting up, but they don't know the know-how about social media? So to be very, very honest, social media was not what I had planned earlier. But to be honest, I really needed some funds to pump into my first startup. And that's the reason I started training people part time. So initial journey I would tell you, 4 years ago, I used to have women coming and learning smartphones from me, how to put
Mhm.
up their passwords and how to book an Uber Ola, and how to use Paytm. And those are the kind of things I've started with. And then I realized that there is so much of a need in this particular space. And then, of course, I started it gradually. And to be very honest, my first startup had to be closed down because my second startup, which was training,
Mhm.
was really taking me to places, and that's how the entire
Wow.
journey started from there.
So, Ami, tell me now, you made a point that you are not really academically certified in social media. So, for someone, can I very comfortably say that for someone, if he wants to get a good grip over the
Hmm.
concept of social media and its application, certification doesn't really play a very significant role. It's more about the application of certain tried and tested rules.
Yes, of course. But after that, if you've not really tried and tested the things practically, you'll not be able to answer. So maybe one or two questions the client will ask you, you'll be able to answer, and the third question you'll fumble because you've actually not tried it practically. So certification is
Okay.
one thing, but actually getting your own hands dirty. Like I tell most of my clients that even if you want to hire someone, I would suggest at least
Hmm.
6 months you manage it by your own. You manage your social media, get your
Okay.
hands dirty, get into the nitty gritty, do the research, because then you'll understand. Otherwise, all these agencies, everyone, they're going to take you for a ride. I'm not saying they want to do that, but because you don't have any knowledge, probably many of the agencies have half knowledge, and it's just going to be a blunder. And after 2 3 months, you're going to fire them and tell them that, I don't know where my money is gone. But it's not even their mistake. You are
Hmm.
not knowledgeable, for this. So
Hmm.
I personally feel you must definitely get your hands dirty, and that's how you're going to actually learn about the tricks and traits of how social media really works.
So one very important point out here that I have also experienced during my initial years.
Hmm.
What do I use? Should I use my name? Because many small players in the sense when it's a one-person company, all right?
Hmm.
The question lies as to should I use my own name to promote on social media or should I use a business page? So
Hmm.
which one would you advocate now? Using your personal
Okay.
profile or a business page?
Okay, very good question. So Elroy, here I would like to tell you that is we as trainers, we are not someone who's selling products. We are selling a brand, and which is ourselves. So our
Okay.
name is what we our service is what we sell. So service, of course, is going to come second, but your name is what is going to come first. So tomorrow, say for example, if I'm going to a networking group and I'm asking, can I get in touch with someone who's into social media? No one is going to tag my company name. No one is going to say socialized her. Everyone is going to say, hey, go check out Ami. Or if they want to get in touch with any trainers community, no one is going to probably say Learners Conclave, go check out
Mm-hmm.
Elroy, go check out Asif. He'll be the right person to get you connected. So, of course, I'm not saying the brand name is not important, but it has to start with you, because at the end, it is a personalized service. We are into a service industry, and much more a personalized service where people really have faith in us, really see our work, and then they come to us to buy our service. So first of all,
Okay.
it is very important your personal branding, which we talk about. For trainers, I'm not saying for everyone, but for trainers, personal branding is extremely important, because it's not about just going and delivering a seminar. You have so many other things. Say you want to get invited in colleges and institutes for guest lecture, you want to get invited for as a panelist, you want to get invited for such shows. So personal branding is going to help you do all of this. Like recently I got to train 500 doctors across 5 cities in India, and
Mm-hmm.
that got possible because I actively promote myself on LinkedIn, and they didn't get in touch with me on my business page, but they got in touch with me on my personal profile. So for a trainer, personal branding is extremely important. If you are shy, and if you say you're a trainer, shy and trainer actually don't go hand in hand. So you have to come out of your closet, come out of your comfort zone, and do that.
So, on this note, when we talk about creating your brand, uh, what I see is a lot of trainers are finding it difficult to identify where they would find their target audience. For example,
Hmm.
if I'm into campus to corporate, I'm also into programs that deal with employees, maybe in the range of around 15, with 15 years experience. So maybe they're somewhere around 35, 40. So if I say that one, my audience is college, and then I
Hmm.
also have someone in the mid segment, how do
Hmm.
I identify which is the perfect window, or which social media should I use to target my audience?
Okay. To answer that question, let me just tell you in one line what each platform stands for and what is the purpose. Like if you see Facebook, it is much more a
Mm-hmm.
discussion oriented platform. If you want to have
Okay.
conversations, if you want to have a discussions, if you want to create a community, you're not going to go to Instagram or you're not going to go to Twitter. Facebook is a platform where you actually get people together for a common bond, for a common purpose, and you'll have discussions for that. Okay. If
Mm-hmm.
vis-a-vis, if you see Instagram, it's much more visual platform. It's a vibrant platform. It's a youth platform, more for products, more for jewelry and fashion, and of course for trainers also. But it is much more
Okay.
visual. Okay, so more visuals are what really attracts people on Instagram. Vis-a-vis, if you see Twitter, Twitter is a platform where you actually talk your mind, you give an opinion, you have a say for a particular topic. So if something has happened today, if some say Sushant Singh has committed suicide, as a trainer, what is your view to that? What do you feel about that? So it's a platform where you actually give out your views. Vis-a-vis, if you see LinkedIn is a skill oriented platform. People are coming to you on LinkedIn looking at your particular skills, the kind of projects you've done before, the kind of people you're connected with, what are the kind of recommendations you have. So each platform has its own USP. And I feel as a trainer, not any one platform is not going to help you. A mix of social media is what it's going to be very, very important to you. Because again, as I say, not many youth, like if you see a lot of college going people, they're not on Facebook. So you will have to touch base with them on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. But if you're looking at brands, you're looking at communities, you're looking at some people from at the higher level, then Facebook, again, you cannot ignore it. It is a platform where you have to be. So a right mix is again important. And people always say just be on one platform. No, I am a total opposite of that. I would say you be on all platform, create content for any one platform, and just push that post on a different platform in a different way. I'm not saying you create different content for each platform. That, of course, if you have the bandwidth, you must definitely do that. But if you don't have the bandwidth, create content for one platform and then push it out on different platforms. How to do that? Probably, maybe I can tell you in the later half of the
So,
session.
so while you're saying that you should have content which is specific to the platform, uh, we generally advocate that in order to show your authority over the topic or some kind of domain expertise, you have to project your presence. So,
Hmm.
what would be the ideal number of situations or examples that we would project ourselves or add posts to our wall? What would be the ideal frequency?
So I would personally suggest that, okay, you have to understand that social media doesn't only work on quality or quantity. People say that
Okay.
nahi hamare post mein to quality hona chahiye, your post should be full of quality. Quantity doesn't matter. No, it's not like that.
Hmm.
Social media works on quantity and quality both. Okay, so if you're just going to post say 3 posts a month and expect social media to really give you that boost, it's not going to work for you, because social media needs quantity also. Again, if you have 30 posts a month but they are really bad, again, it's not going to work for you. You need to have quality also. So quality and quantity come mix is very important. So I personally suggest at least one post every alternate day is a must. For a business page, you must definitely have a one post. So 15 posts a month, and then you can bifurcate them into fixed posts and variable posts. Now, what are these? Fixed posts are those posts which are happening every month. Like, for example, say every Monday I want to have a Monday motivation. Every Wednesday I want to have a Wednesday wisdom. So social media wisdom will be
Mhm.
every Wednesdays, and every Mondays will be a social media motivation post for you. So those posts will be fixed posts. And then, of course, you have your Mother's Day, and you have your Teacher's Day, and you have your Father's Day. Though those will be your
Mhm.
variable posts. So you need to have a mix of both, but you should see to it that you have at least 15 posts going out on your business page, and on your personal profile, of course. Try and have at least 1 or 2 posts going out every week. Okay, so I'll just give an example. So if on my Facebook business page, if I'm going to say about the today's workshop of the 15 people, if example came for today's workshop, so I'm going to talk about, how the workshop went by and everything, and then talk about the 15 people and what was their background and how they really, learned something from today's session. Vis-a-vis on my personal profile, I'm going to write my experience conducting that workshop, and then I'm going to tag the venue partner, and I'm going to tag all the people who were with me, but it will be my personal experience conducting the workshop. Vis-a-vis on my business page, it will be just an overview of what the workshop was, what I taught to them, and what was the end result. So the same content, I have to push it out different way on different platforms, and try to, and of course, say for example, if I'm putting the same post in LinkedIn, I have to try and put up the business names of each of their brands. Okay, so I got it today. I got to train these 15 people who are from, and tag each of them, their names and their businesses, and what kind of skill sets they have, and then kind of resonate with that. So each platform, the content goes same, but how you put it up is a strategy you need to work on.
So one question that has always been there at the back of my mind: how does tagging help? Because many a times we post, at the end of it, you end up with a kind of limited exposure. So you've put your heart, mind, blood, soul into that article or a post, and then you realize that it's gone to only just about maybe 10, 15 people. So how does tagging help?
Okay, so one thing is for sure that tagging random people is like broadcasting random people. Like in the morning when I get up, I get at least 5 people who've added me to their broadcast list, and they don't even know, but I've actually blocked them. Similarly, this happens with all of us. We get tagged in unnecessary posts on social media, and we don't even realize, but we are actually getting blocked by those people because they don't like being tagged. And secondly, you also get blacklisted by Facebook if you recurrently getting blocked by people. Okay, so I would suggest that if the person is not involved in that post in any way, don't tag him. Okay, unnecessarily, because it really creates a bad taste in that person's mind, because he doesn't want to get tagged. Okay, but if you feel that this is important, or if I ever put up a picture of a workshop of 15 people, then I can tag each of these 15 people. Okay, but just randomly putting up that I'm having my workshop tomorrow, and then I tag 99 people there, trust me, it will not work for you. Vis-a-vis, what I would suggest you do, that what you suggest you do is, before the workshop, at least 10 days before, you start giving people, you start sharing knowledge. When you share knowledge, and then you tag, people are not going to mind. But if you're going to tag them on promotional content, they are definitely going to mind, they're definitely going to block you, and they're definitely not going to engage with you. So please avoid doing that. And another one thing is, recently the algorithm has also changed, that when you start tagging people, Facebook realizes that this is a strategy you're using to push your post. So it is not going to push your post, but it's going to make your reach even more lower. Okay, so tagging just like that is not going to work. And one hack that I can give you is, instead of tagging people in the post, rather you tag them in the comment section. Okay, so they don't get tagged on the post, but they get tagged in the comments, and they'll just get a notification, and it'll be just that. So I think you can do that.
All right, one hack already out from Ami. Okay, let me tell me one thing. Now, a lot of us keep trying, and there's a lot of experimentation that happens. What would be that one number which would help us track whether are we on the right track, or we're just loosely under that belief that we are doing well on social media, but actually it's not creating an impact? So there has to be some number that would help us realize that.
Okay,
how do we get that?
Okay, so I cannot give you a number, but I'll tell you how to analyze it. Okay, so in social media, we have these 3 C's that we actually take into consideration. That is your content, your connection, and your conversions. Okay, content is, of course, the kind of content that you really put out, that really resonates with your community. Second is your connection, that is your clients, who exactly is your target audience, and what is it that they want, and how is it that you're giving them. And the third is your conversion. Now, generally people feel conversion means कि मुझे इसमें से business आया, मुझे इसमें से inquiry आया. No, conversion is even more ahead of that. A like on your post is a conversion. A share to your post is a conversion. A comment on your post is a conversion. And ultimately, of course, people giving you an inquiry, people buying your service, and people giving your testimonial, all of these are conversions. Okay, so आपने अभी
Okay.
एक post डाल दिया, don't expect कि कल से आपको inquiries आना चालू हो जाएंगे. At least if you've got a like, that is also a part of conversion. Okay, so I would suggest that try and get more engagement on your posts before actually getting people enrolled for your course. ओके तो आपका जो
Okay.
पोस्ट है उसमें जितना एंगेजमेंट बढ़ेगा उतना ही वही लोग आपका थर्ड पोस्ट जब भी प्रमोशनल होगा दे विल बाय दैट, लेकिन फर्स्ट आपके प्रमोशन में कोई बाय नहीं करने वाला है. So when you have the 15th promotional post, uske pehle you have to see that the 14 posts that have gone before that are all a giving posts where you're just giving. And trust me, then you don't even have to promote yourself. People will come samne se to you, Ami, when is your next workshop? I want to come to your session. Okay, so put all your energy into creating good content, valuable content for your people. Trust me, एक बार आप उनको दोगे जो उनको चाहिए, you don't even have to sell your services. It will get sold automatically. And one more thing, Roy, which I want to share. How do you feel that social media is really, or for that matter, your at least your training is really working for you? I personally feel that after 2 to 3 years, your work has to go on an auto mode. If 4 years ago I had to actually tell my friends and family that, hey, I'm doing this workshop, can you please send it to 5 of your friends? Okay, in my first workshop, in my second workshop, in my third workshop, it was fine. But today, after 4 years, I can't do the same thing. I have to have 20 strategies in place, which I know that if I do these 20 strategies before a workshop, I am going to have 15 paid participants in my workshop. And we have been able to achieve that since last 1 year. We know that these are 20 things that work for us. I have my manager, I've told her these are the things you have to do. She does, and we know we have 15 paid participants confirmed for our session. And so many times we have to actually tell no to people. But that didn't happen in the initial years. Initial years, we to actually call people, hey, come for my session, it's going to really help you. But if your work is not going on an auto mode, then something is terribly wrong. You really need to introspect and figure out what is it that you're not doing rightly.
So, Ami, here I'd like to ask you. In fact, this same discussion had happened even maybe 10 days back or a fortnight ago, when I had the same query about the concept of engagement. Now, what exactly happens because when I was going through the concept of insights, which I'm sure trainers can then now experiment in terms of the page, when you go to insights, what exactly is the meaning of reach and what exactly is engagement? And how does it actually help? I mean, which one would actually help more than anything?
Okay, so reach are the kind of people, the number of people the post has gone to. Okay, so I might have seen your post maybe twice, thrice, or maybe 100 people would have seen my post. But was your post interesting enough for that person to wait on your post, to even scroll through your post, to even just give 2 seconds to your post? That is when you have engaged the person who has made your, who has reached, with the person who has reached the post. So your reach could be higher and your engagement could be lower. So you have to be very, very, you have to be very, very proper in the way you project yourself online, because just showing your piece to thousands people doesn't really matter, but maybe showing it to 100 people and getting all those 100 people engaged is what your motto should be.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example of what we did. I don't know if you've seen my Instagram post just 2 weeks ago. What I did is I created a list of 100 social media post ideas. Okay. And I said that I will give it to you, but all you have to do is you have to tag 3 of your friends, and you have to, once you've done it, you have to follow us. Of course, you have to tag 3 of your friends, and then you have to email me your email address. Oh my god, we have been flooded with email IDs, and we actually got so many followers through it. When you give someone and then you expect them to do something, they're going to do. But if you're just going to say that my workshop is happening tomorrow, please can you tag your 3 friends, they're not going to do that. But if you're going to give them something, they will definitely do it. So yeah, so reach is important, but more than reach, you have to see how many people are engaging with your post. Even if they're giving a negative comment, means they are engaging. Even if they're giving you a share, means they are engaging. You want a conversation to happen with you. So you have to see that is a conversation, is your post invoking people, provoking people to converse with you, is what you need to get into.
So is there any particular hierarchy of the success rate of your post in terms of engagement, in terms of maybe a video or a picture or a post? Is there any hierarchy or something? some study
So
or
again,
research?
it is again a mix, so there are times when people just keep putting out videos. Again, people are consuming videos more, but that's again not only the right thing to do. You have to show a mix, because again, if your page gets monotonous, people are not, every day there are so many new brands and pages coming up. If they find you, maybe 10 days they find you very entertaining, 11 day you have one boring post and they're out, you know so you have to keep,
Okay.
and again, there is no tried and tested method that this is what will definitely work for you. You have to keep
Hmm.
trying and error and see what works for you. And a mix is very important. Like, for example, say, uh, you have like a product post is something, or a promotional post is something you should least give importance to, but you should give
Okay.
more importance to your value add posts, like your tips and your hacks and your tricks, and some resource that you're sharing with them, or some live you're going with an expert, or you're going live, or you're sharing a lot of information with them, you're sharing articles with them, you're solving their queries. So these are the kind of things you really need to work on social media, because trust me, social media is not about giving you business, it's about brand building first. So you first build your brand,
Okay.
and trust me, then your brand will do your work.
All right. Wow. Thank you. So, now tell me one thing, since you already spoke about hacks, can you give 3 hacks, all right, that every trainer could try out in building a really strong profile?
Okay, so this is one secret which I'm going to share with you all.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what I did, so generally I don't really promote a lot of my workshops. You will see me promoting maybe once in 2 weeks or something like that. But what do I do? So I'm a part of a lot of groups on Facebook. Okay, so what I've done is, on my personal profile, on Ami's profile, you will see everything there. Once you go to my profile, in 10 to 15 seconds you'll come to know who Ami is. She's a trainer
Hmm.
and she's trained so many people, everything you'll come to know. So now that is my base profile. Okay, you should have one base profile where you have to attract maximum number of people. Now what is my work? My work is to try and promote this base profile how much ever I can. Okay, so now what do I do? So I'll give an example. So I had joined a women community around 1 year back, and there were around
Hmm.
15,000 women in that community. Okay, and it was doing very, very well. So,
Hmm.
but of course, promotions in our group were not allowed. So I said that, okay, promotions are not allowed. I have to do something which will get people's attention. Okay. So what I did is, of course, I did it out of my heart. And there was this very good experience that happened with me. There was a stranger who actually helped me out on a difficult day when I was actually traveling back home from work. And
Hmm.
he was an Uber driver who came to my rescue, and I was stuck somewhere. And I really felt good that, there are such human beings who can help you out. And that's a small story. It was like a small experiential story which I just went onto
Hmm.
that group and I just posted that. Okay, it was no promotional, nothing, just saying that while I was coming back from my work, this is what happened with me. You wouldn't
Hmm.
imagine that post actually got 600 to 700 people engaging with it. And that post was the first post, it was trending that the entire day on that group. And so many
Hmm.
people through that actually came to my profile. And
Okay.
once you're on on your profile, they exactly know everything about you, because you've made your base profile very, very strong. So then I realized that, okay, this is a good way of course, sharing goodness and happiness and sharing these good things. But along with that, it is also a good way to create your brand and goodwill. Then what
Hmm.
did I did? That same story, I went to other 10 groups and I posted it. And that way I got so many new visitors on my profile. And once these visitors are on your profile, now your profile will do the work for you. Okay, so first thing is you
Okay.
create such a strong profile, and then you work very, very hard to see that you create attention for your profile. But how do you create attention? You create it via a pull strategy. So on social media, there are two strategies. One is a push strategy, one is a pull strategy. In push strategy, you bombard people with your promotions, and this is who I am, and
Hmm.
this is what I do, and come for my workshop, and da 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 da. No, you don't do that. You very, very subtly involve a pull strategy, where subtly you put out such conversations and such posts out there, and you attract people towards yourself. Okay, and
Hmm.
they are going to be with you for a longer time. So this is one hack which I've done in multiple groups, and trust me, it's worked very well for me. So I've created like an entire bank of posts. So once I did this, then once I did 100 social media post ideas. Do you want them? Then come and ping me on my messenger. Then once I did
Hmm.
like a Q&A, but like a 1 hour Q&A with all startup owners of one particular company, one particular group, and I actually got 300
Hmm.
people responding to that. So, this is how I create a lot of engagement, and this is one hack which has really worked wonders for me.
All right. Anything else? One more?
Okay. Uh,
One more.
Okay, other than that, I wouldn't say a hack, but I would strongly suggest you that there are a lot of these online and offline networking meetups happening. Okay, so this is again a hack which I will share with you all. So what I would do is, like for example, in my initial years when I was to go for this meetups, there'll be 100 women, there'll be 100 people and 100 startup owners, and there'll be some speakers and everyone. Okay, now I would of course listen to what that speaker is talking. Okay, and my legs are shivering down, but I'll be when people, when the host asks, and if anyone has any question, I'm the first person to raise my hand. Okay, so I've heard that person very very properly, what she has said and what exactly I want to know. Even if I know the answer, I don't care. I just want to get up and get that attention. Okay, just not it's a attention for good things. It's not about boasting about myself. So I'll be the first person. Hello everyone, my name is Ami and I'm a social media trainer. And ma'am, you said a very, very valid point about this particular topic. Can you more elaborate on this further? Okay, so I will introduce myself in the start and I will see to it that because there are so many people who want to ask questions, but none of them, they raise their hands. And I know I'm shivering down and I'm sweating here, but I'm like, just get it out, just raise your hand and just ask them a question. And I know in the next coffee meet, when there is a coffee break, I'll have at least 10 people coming and talking to me. And this is how, trust me, I've built my network. And today, so many Facebook community admins, I have personally trained them. They have actually come for my workshops, all the big community admins, you name them. And I know them. They are my friends today. I've done sessions with their members and with their communities, and we've done wonderful. So this is one small hack which I've tried and, created that rapport with many, many influential people in the industry.
Awesome. I mean, and beauty of it is it's actually 100% applicable, and it's easy to try out. It's no major challenge.
And one more hack. I don't know if you have time, I can share one more hack.
Please.
Okay, so to be very honest, I've actually got featured in 27 newspapers and magazines, including, if you see, Times of India, Hindustan Times, DNA. Recently, I was interviewed by CNBC for their show Tech Guru. Now, when I say these 26 newspapers and magazines, and I give you this 7-8 big names, you don't know which are the other 15 names. You wouldn't have even heard about them. Okay, so so this is of course the Gada Majuri we've done. I used to sit down and I used to actually email 100 people a day. Okay, I used to actually get email IDs from Google, from all over the internet, and wherever there are small bloggers or there are platforms that are featuring startups and they're featuring women and they're featuring businesses, I would just get their email ID. I've created my entire startup story. I will just right, left, and center, just send them an email. I've actually sent email to thousands of people. Okay, and that way I know there are so many people who get back to me, and that way I've got featured myself, and it's all free. Okay, I've not done any paid features for myself. These are all free features. Okay, so I got myself into many small features, and through that, Times of India, CNBC, and everything came through. Because then when you search for Ami Savla Hemani on Google, you'll have so many web links talking about you. It doesn't matter which platform is that. At least there is on a particular platform, there is a page where Ami Savla story is there. So I've seen to it that there are at least 25, 30 places where my story is there. And through that, I get picked up by many connections out there. Another small hack I want to share this because this is really going to help people. So I'm sure you all must be knowing about WeWork. WeWork, the co-working space. Okay, so this is again another thing that happened. So there's this platform called meetup.com. I'm sure you guys would be knowing, where you can actually create meetups. So initially when it started, when it came to India, by the way, it's not an Indian company, Meetup. So when it came in India, that was a free platform. Now off late, now if you want to actually log into Meetup, you actually have to pay. Okay, so when when someone told me about Meetup, I'm a very curious and inquisitive person. If I come to know about something, I'll be the first person to log into it and fill up my details. And even I don't know what that platform is all about, but I will just go and create my profile out there. So Meetup was new that time, and I created my profile. I created a community of of myself, and I would not do anything on that. Okay, whenever my workshop would happen, I would just go and just post about it. Now suddenly after 2 years, I realized, I was just going through, one day I was just going through my Meetup profile. There were 2,100 members on that group. Okay, I don't know, I didn't engage with them, I did nothing with them, but there were 2,100 members. And one day I get a mail from Meetup. Okay, and this is what they say, that hi Ami, this is a team from Meetup, and we've recently collaborated with WeWork, and we are giving out free spaces to people who want to conduct workshops who are our privileged members. We see that
Mhm.
you have 2100 members community, and thus you are a privileged member. For next couple of months you get to use WeWork absolutely for free. Okay, so I
Wow.
actually did 10 paid workshops in
Hmm.
free WeWork venues across Bombay. Be it Andheri, be it Thane, be it Vikhroli, be it VKC. They used to call me that, Ami, come and just do your workshop here.
Hmm.
And out of what? Just a community which I created on Meetup, which I didn't even intend to create. And I didn't do any kind of engagement on there. I just a profile there, and I don't know what just happened. So these are things. So whenever you get an opportunity, you get a profile, you bump into something, just create your profile, because that way you're building your digital footprint. And when you create a digital footprint, it is going to be there on Google. And then when someone searches for Ami Savla Himani, along with Facebook, Instagram, they will see a Meetup profile, and they will see a Twitter profile, and they will see a LinkedIn profile, and they will see a other 15 to 20
Hmm.
profiles where you've been featured. So these
Wow.
are some hacks which I think will be very important.
Awesome. Awesome. Very useful hacks for all our trainers. So, as per your previous point that you mentioned about having paid advertising, one question that comes to mind: do you really need to have
Hmm.
paid marketing to grow your network organically, to hear really um, humongous is the word? So I would say that,
Hmm.
can you build your tribe of, say, maybe 1,000 people or 1,500 or 2,000 people without going the marketing way?
Okay. So there's a simple answer to this. I wouldn't suggest that paid is completely no. I personally do it, and I recommend you to do it. Do that too. But it has to start
Okay.
organically. Okay. So there are
Okay.
many people. I'll see their pages will have 5 likes, and they have started paid campaigns for their workshops. Okay. So लोग सिर्फ आपका प्रोडक्ट नहीं देखते हैं, वो प्रोडक्ट के साथ आपकी दुकान भी देखते हैं. ओके, सो आपका
Hmm.
प्रोडक्ट सुपर है, फैंटास्टिक है, उनके वॉल पे आपका सुपर प्रोडक्ट आया है, लेकिन प्रोडक्ट देखने से बाय करने से पहले वो लोग आपकी शॉप भी देखेंगे. और जब इस शॉप में देखते हैं कि सिर्फ 5 लाइक्स है, 10 लाइक्स है, तो एनी एवरीथिंग कम्स डाउन. सो शायद वो प्रोडक्ट 1000 लोग तक पहुंचा, लेकिन वो कन्वर्ट नहीं कर पाया, क्योंकि आपने ऑर्गेनिक
Okay.
बेस ही नहीं बनाया अपना. So first very important thing is you first grow organically. As I said, 15 posts a month, every month, consistently. It has to go out. You would have reached to any height, but you still have to have your organic going out. Simultaneously, once or twice in a month, you can go for paid
Hmm.
campaigns, and your high the organically जो आपके पोस्ट बहुत अच्छे कर रहे हैं, okay, you promote and you
Hmm.
boost those posts, and those are going to give you good results. Now, even
Okay.
in the paid marketing, what are the kind of things you need to cater to? So you can do influencer marketing, you can do niche marketing, so get in touch with community admins, do barter with them, do collaboration with them, do paid marketing with them. They've already created the community. Okay, why
Hmm.
do you want to go and create your own community? They have created. Collaborate with them, give them a lot of value, and trust me, you can get results out of it. Okay, so
Okay.
and of course paid campaigns, Facebook, Instagram पे तो paid campaigns होते ही है, so you can also do that. But another is influencer and local niche marketing, which you should also consider doing.
And how important is a content creator? I mean, as a trainer, can
Hmm.
I create value addition or some kind of quality out of my own knowledge, or having a content creator to write your post, to write your articles, some ghost writers, does that make more sense when you're trying to build on your tribe?
Okay. So what I personally suggest is, of course, good content is important. The right content is important. More than that,
Mm-hmm.
what is important is authenticity. Okay. People don't want to just see the flashy you, the fancy you. They want to see the real you. Okay. So you might
Okay.
hire the best content writers, but if your feelings, if what you feel is not coming out in the post, it's not going to work for you. Okay, so I
Okay.
personally suggest that you can take inspiration, you can hire someone, but at the end, at the bottom, the heart of your post as to be your ideology and what you feel. And of course, the person can make it a little better way and put it up, but it has to come out from you. And second is, I would personally suggest that, like, if you ask me also, I'm not a great content writer. Like,
Hmm.
Over the years I've developed that skill, but initially I was not that great content writer. But I used to do a lot of research and learn and go for online workshops and offline sessions on content creation and take some tips from there and try and test and see what's working for me, what's not working for me. And one good thing that I've done is I've married a husband who's an educationist, so all my posts first goes to him. He QCs them and then they go up on social media. So of course you
Okay.
need that one person who can do that
Hmm.
QC, do that check for you. But I personally suggest that initial years you must give it a try, give it your own shot. If you feel that you're averagely well with English and language, then you must give it a try. But if you feel that you really fumble with the language, totally, then of course you must hire someone. But I would personally suggest that this is your baby, this is your game. The more authentic it is, the more it's going to be beneficial to you.
Okay. So, on this note, I just like to ask, considering the kind of posts that are coming online,
Hmm.
and consequent to these posts, as you said, there's a lot of promotional work that happens. In during this COVID time, now we've seen that trainers have gone, either they've gone overboard or they have kind of gone into a shell, right?
Hmm.
So, what is your opinion? I mean, does free work well when it comes to engaging with the masses or bringing more people, getting more people attracted to your domain?
Okay.
Does it always help, or?
Okay. So trust me, lockdown has been could be a biggest boon for at least for the trainers, because they can actually do so many things. Like there are so many free webinars and so many things happening, and we feel that अरे ये कितना free webinar कर रहा है, क्या कर रहा है?
Hmm.
अरे but तुम तो कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो ना, तुम तो घर बैठ के ऐसे ही सबका काम देख रहे हो. But at least there's someone who's going and doing that attempt, and even if no one has come for the session, but at least that person has made an attempt. Okay.
Hmm.
So I would personally suggest that जितना भी आप ये लॉकडाउन में आपने अगर किया है या कर सकते हो, तो प्लीज डू दैट, डू फ्री सेशंस, गिव देम अ लॉट ऑफ knowledge. Like if you see on my profile, we've done so many challenges. We've done Canva challenge, and we've done an Instagram makeover challenge. Like we did a Canva, I'm sure many of us use Canva where to make our tools and designs.
Yes.
We actually did a Canva challenge where like over 100 people participated, and they created their designs, and we actually had Canva on board as one of our gifting partner. They
Mhm.
collaborated with us, and they said that we would like to give a gift to one of your winners, and they also actually gave it also. So doing such things regularly, just not focusing on the paid, but how much value you're adding. So this 2 to 3 months, how many online modules have you created, how many videos have you created, how many times have you gone live, how many times have you invited? So even if you don't feel that you have that thing to talk online, get experts to talk online, invite them, talk to them, but keep something or the other happening. You have to keep your online thing buzzing, otherwise it's just going to fizzle out. So again, overdoing is also something you should do away with, but absolutely doing nothing is not going to take you anywhere. Because I see so many trainers, they suddenly just get up 15 days before their workshop, and they say, now I want to promote, now how do I get people? Dude, what have you done for the last 6 months for you to get people for your workshop? You should have
Hmm.
worked for the last 6 months to get your the entire workshop full. So you cannot just get up 15 days before and say, now I want people. Ami, can you help me? No, I can't help you, because you've not helped yourself for the last 6 months.
Hmm.
So I think that push is very, very important, which Asif very, very strongly does, and I really commend the kind of work he does.
Of course. So, if I had to look at it from the point of these videos that are made,
Hmm.
many a times we've seen that the initial years or the initial posts, or maybe even the kind of quality of the videos that come out, are rather poor.
Hmm.
What would you suggest to the trainers that once they reach their mark, maybe of around 5 videos or 10 videos, because of the continuous growing element, their videos improve?
Hmm.
What would you suggest they do with the first round of videos? Should it be kept online or should it be taken off?
Okay. Never take them off, because that's your
Okay.
journey. That shows your journey. That shows that. So I know that when 4 years ago, when I was training in a very, very small place, it didn't even have good lighting. The AC used to make noise, and there was not even the lift in the building. And
Mhm.
the people who used to come for my workshop, they used to sit very clumsily and next to each other and all of that. It was not that great environment for them. But that is the place which started, which has given me that push where I am today. So I don't want to delete that. I want to show people my journey. And as I told you, people are not just seeing all the good things about you. They are seeing how have you grown, and vis-a-vis how are you going to help that person grow. When a person sees your journey from first standard to 10th standard, they will believe you. But you just show them your 10th standard results and you show them all the successes, they're not going to believe you. So when you show them your entire journey, they're definitely going to. So I personally suggest that those are your key moments. They are golden moments. Don't delete them. Of course, you must. But this is, of course, going to be different for youth who are going to be applying for jobs and all of that. If they've done shitty things on their profiles, they must definitely delete them. But at least for trainers or someone like that, if they've had maybe just one person. So that's a journey. Like just recently I put up a collage of one picture which was 4 years ago, which was just 3 people, and then another picture which was 15 people, and then and now. And that posted so amazingly well. And then I related my entire journey to them, that how I started and where I am today, and the entire journey of Amit. So that I think is very, very priceless, and you should not delete that.
Very interesting thought. So one question that I would like to ask you is, now that you have gone through a lot of challenges in life, what has been your learning? Because of course there's been some kind of transition. So what were the maybe 2 or 3 learnings that you would say have been very key and integral for any person who's coming onto social media? What would you advise that he do at least these 3 things on a regular basis to ensure that his profile or the kind of work that he's trying to promote through the social media is actually of quality?
Okay, so trial and test, of course, everyone has to go through. Like, even if I tell you 100 strategies, you will have to try your own strategies and figure out what works for you, because what works for me might just not work for you. Okay, so that is one thing. You have to keep doing research and listen to people, listen to their podcasts, read blogs, see the interesting things. Like, I personally, I'm telling you, whatever things I've learned, as I said, I haven't gone to any institute, but everything that I've learned, of course, has been through my own experience and through by attending a lot of sessions and events. And so there's this very good saying by a very dear friend of mine, who says that your day should start with a Udemy workshop, and your day must end with a TED talk. So start with a Udemy, start your morning with a Udemy where you learn something, and you end your day with something positive. So listen to someone's inspiring story. So before you sleep, you listen to one TED talk of someone. So that has stayed with me, and it has really helped me. When you listen to people, listen to their stories, the roadblocks they've gone through, and how they've come, you get to learn a lot of things. So research, do your study, listen to people, ask for help. Okay, so many people, they don't ask for help. If you don't ask, you'll not get. So if you ask for help from 10 people, at least 8 people will tell you no, but there'll be 2 people who will actually help you to come out of it. So I have actually grown. So many people, had I not gone, I wouldn't have been in this place. So I've gone out, I've asked for help, and people have been more than willing to help you. So please ask for that, and trust me, God is there, and people are there to give you that help.
Nice. And if I would have to ask you, for any trainer, for any new person who's coming into the system and simply wants to experiment, is there any book or some kind of reading material that he or she should go through to get a fair understanding or strengthen the fundamentals before he or she embarks on this journey of creating a social media impact?
Okay, so along with books, I'll tell you also some things that you can do. So there are so many, youngsters also come for my sessions, and they tell me that I want to make a career, and I tell them simply this: at least for 6 to 7 months, you work free for someone. You intern with them, and you learn something from them. You don't tell them that I don't want money only. I just want to learn, and do everything on your own, and do learning. Other than that, what you can do, say, for example, if I have a nephew or a niece, I can ask that person, can you just manage my social media? Or if you are that young person, if you have an auntie who's a baker, if you have an auntie who's a florist, tell her that I can manage your social media, learn. And that is how you're going to learn. Okay, create dummy accounts on Facebook, Instagram, do your testing, like how you do cooking. It's all about, trying and testing, because you're not going to get that khichdi in the one go. You'll have to try and test. So create dummy accounts on Facebook, Instagram, start posting out things, send your post to your 10 people and tell them that don't give me even one good thing about this. Tell me what is it that I need to improve. Ask them only for their critical opinion. Don't ask them for any good things. Send out your post to your 10 people, tell them to review your work. And of course, there are these one show which you should definitely watch, Dragon's Den. I don't know, so many of you all would definitely be knowing about Shark Tank. Shark Tank is, of course, a US show. Contemporary to Shark Tank is Dragon's Den, which is a UK based show, which I would say is a much sophisticated version of Shark Tank. You should definitely watch that. You're going to really enjoy the kind of things that are discussed on that show. Then another book which I would strongly suggest you do read is, there is this book called Crush It, Crush, Crush It. It's called Crush It by Gary Vee. Gary, Gary Vee.
Okay.
So I'll tell you an interesting thing about this book also. So Gary Vee has made this book, I think, quite some years back, and he had some interesting insights shared on how to build your personal brand and how to build your profile, and some really good hacks. And then what he did, of course, there were some million copies which were sold on that. And then all the people who actually used that book and who reached to that place, who really went successful after reading that book, Gary Vee came up with another book, writing examples and case studies of all these people. Okay, and then he made another book which was called Crushing It. Okay, so the first book was Crush It, and all the people who actually used that book to their advantage, he made a book on them, all of them, and he made another book, and that also book sold like millions of copies. It was called Crushing It. So Crush It is one book I would definitely suggest you read. Then of course there is 1 Minute Manager, and there is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Of course, many people say, but trust me, there are some very good insights into them. You must definitely read them. Chicken Soup. Okay, again, you might feel it's a very kiddish book. No, it's very nice book. You really develop empathy, you develop kindness. You must definitely read these books, and trust me, they work wonderful. Of course, 1 Minute Manager and all these books. So Rich Dad Poor Dad is another book, again, a very old book, but some very crazy insights. So you must definitely get hold of these books.
So one question, this is, I'm sure, is at the top of every trainer's mind. Okay, before we close, this is one question I really had to ask you. What is it that a trainer should do to make sure that he or she can come up to the listing of HR heads or L&D heads? Is there anything that he or she could do to highlight his or her skill sets or something and feature in some kind of listing of the HR heads or L&D heads?
Okay. I'm so sorry to say this, but Roy, I don't know, 90% of the trainers are not even on LinkedIn, and they've really not understood that LinkedIn is a gold mine. Like your mind will be blown off with the kind of things people have done on LinkedIn and the kind of results they've got through LinkedIn. Okay, just having, and you don't even have to do any kind of paid marketing, just having a good profile, updated profile, having your keywords, having your profile picture, having your headshot, having your cover photo, having your headline properly, who exactly you are, no generic statements, what is your USP, what is your unique selling proposition about you, your journey, the kind of projects that you've done, endorsing people, giving them recommendations. Trust me, if you can just do this much on your LinkedIn profile, you'll be at a very better position. Okay, so LinkedIn is something I would strongly suggest every trainer. Instagram, Facebook अभी भी एक बार नहीं करोगे तो चलेगा, नहीं चलेगा, but अभी भी एक बार चलेगा, but LinkedIn you cannot miss out. And I see so many people LinkedIn पे है, profile updated नहीं है. एक one hack, अभी अगर आप देखोगे www.linkedin.com/ कितने लोग का नाम कैसे होगा पता है, Ami-Savla 003100. So they've not even changed the username on LinkedIn. So when someone searches for Ami Savla and your username is what 10030, there'll be 5 other Ami Savlas which will open up. Okay, so you've not even gone at that where you've changed your profile link. Okay, so these are small things, but trust me, LinkedIn is a gold mine. Have an updated profile there. do work out there, give a lot of value, keep adding a lot of value. If you're a trainer, means what? You are adding value to people's life. Okay, so why can't you even share it freely? Kyun har value ke liye you want to get paid? Start sharing freely, and trust me, money will follow. So social media pay, don't look for money, don't look for business. You keep giving value, you build your connections, and trust me, your brand will is going to fill up your bank. So you just focus on giving, 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 and giving.
Wow. So one last question now before we wind up this episode. Considering the current COVID times, and a lot of people have moved on to the online bandwagon, would anything change in the social media space? Or now that the market has improved, there are a little more people out there, it is actually now imperative that every person or every trainer for that matter should be on social media. Is there any change now that people due to COVID times?
There is no change. There is one change, of course. People earlier were on their phone 24/7. Now they are on their phone 36/7. So they are on their phone. So many, like they are just addicted their phones. If you're not on digital, if you're not online, trust me. Like I've had calls from my friends and family. They're like very, very big businessmen, and they're doing some amazing business, all crore-patis, and they tell me that, Ami, I think even we should be on social media. I'm like, why do you have to be on social media? No yaar, COVID ke baad I think even I have to go digital. So digital is the answer, is the key. You have to today, किसी का भी अगर कोई ट्रेनर का भी रिकमेंडेशन अगर आप दे रहे हो कि ये ट्रेनर इज वेरी गुड, वो बंदा ऐसे ही नहीं मानने वाला है. वो आपका गूगल पे रिव्यूज देख रहा है, वो आपके फेसबुक पे रिकमेंडेशंस देख रहा है, वो आपके लिंक्डइन पे रिकमेंडेशंस देख रहा है, उसके बाद ही वो आपके साथ बिजनेस कर रहा है. ठीक है, सो आज सब कोई आपको ऑनलाइन देख रहे हैं. सो प्लीज डोंट थिंक एवरीवन इज ऑनलाइन, इट्स सच अ मेस, इट्स सो मच ऑफ क्राउड. स्टिल, even if there is crowd, means there are people means you can showcase things to them. So don't think about that. Come out of your closet and start using social media. I'm not saying just keep just keep blowing your trumpet and keep just talking good things about yourself. As I said, give value, build your connections, start meeting new people, and trust me, things can really work wonderful for you. But start your digital journey today.
Wow. So I'm sure after listening to you for the last hour, quite a number of us are surely going to begin with their transformational journey, not just a journey onto social media. But one thing that has surely picked up is the very fact that you have been insisting that first add value, then look at how you could commercialize that relation. So, on that very note, I would like to say a very big thank you, Ami, because I'm sure the learnings that you have imparted
so
today,
much.
it's surely going to be of great help to every trainer who comes and attends. And all you viewers, thank you very much for being with us over the last hour. Um, I'm sure it's been a kind of value-based session for you. And if you can identify trainers whom you feel need help in social media, please do tag them. Please share with them. Please like this video. Make watch parties, enjoy those watch parties together, and then maybe you could also collaborate and understand and create discussions how you could improve your performance on social media. So on this very note, on behalf of
Thank you so much, Elroy. Thank you. It was a very, very vibrant discussion, and I totally enjoyed it. And you guys are doing some fabulous work out there. So thank you for that too.
Thank you. So on this note, on behalf of the entire team of Conversations That Impact, this is Elroy Gonsalves signing out. But please note, tomorrow evening at 8 p.m., we have Brigadier Sushil Basin. All right, so a very vibrant, dynamic personality. There is a lot to learn from this gentleman. So please make sure that you clear out your appointment schedule tomorrow from 8 to 9 p.m. And without fail, make sure you create watch parties of this episode. Remember, episode 7, Conversations That Impact with Ami Savla Himani. On this note,
Thank you so much.
thank you and good night.